I was sprawled out on a beach chair in Maui, the kind of place where the sand sparkles like sugar and the ocean hums you into a trance. A cold pineapple drink sat in my hand, condensation dripping onto my fingers. This trip had been my lifeline, planned for months, my first real escape since moving to Willow Creek Estates 3 months ago. The move had been a nightmare: boxes, renovations, and dodging the sharp tongue of our neighborhood's HOA queen, Linda Harper. She'd drained me dry, and I was ready to forget her for a week. But then my phone buzzed, cutting through the palm tree bliss. It was my neighbor, Mike. "Hey, why are the cops at your place again? Third time this week. You good?" "Saw." I nearly dropped my drink. "Cops? At my empty house?" My heart kicked into overdrive as I dialed Mike, sand sticking to my sweaty palms. "They're saying you've got music blasting at 2 a.m. People yelling. Total chaos," he said, voice low like he was spilling a secret. "The whole neighborhood's buzzing. Linda's telling everyone you're renting your place to frat boys while you're gone." My stomach twisted. Linda. Of course it was Linda, the HOA dictator who'd had it out for me since day one. This was low even for her. "Mike, I'm in freaking Hawaii," I said, trying not to yell. "The house is locked up tight. Empty." He sighed. "I tried telling the cops, but Linda rolled up with her clipboard, swearing I'm covering for you. She's got her HOA posse nodding along, saying they heard it too." My paradise shattered. Instead of snorkeling with turtles or chasing waterfalls, I spent the next 3 days glued to my phone, calling the police, the HOA board, my security company, anyone who'd listen. Linda had painted me as the neighborhood's worst nightmare, all while I was 5,000 miles away. When I first moved to Willow Creek, I was over the moon. The place was a postcard. Tidy lawns, cozy houses, the kind of neighborhood you save for years to call home. I'd poured everything into buying my fixer-upper, dreaming of turning it into something special. That dream lasted 3 days. Then Linda showed up, clutching her HOA rulebook like it was the Bible. "Your grass is half an inch too long," she said, no hello, no smile. "And that mailbox color? Not approved." She peered at me over her pricey sunglasses. "You must be a city type. We have standards here." I forced a grin. "I'm Ethan," I said, offering my hand. She ignored it. "Linda Harper, HOA president. 8 years running. Follow the rules, and we'll get along." She shoved a 3-inch binder at me. "Memorize this." From then on, Linda was relentless. She fined me for vying my trash, can out for 20 minutes on pickup day. My new windows, approved by her own rules, were suddenly wrong. One October, she sent a warning for excessive decorations. My crime? A single pumpkin on my porch. Neighbors whispered she'd chased out 3 families in a year. "She picks a target and doesn't stop," my neighbor Sarah told me. "Keep your head down." But I wasn't about to let her bully me out of my home. I followed every sane rule, politely pushing back on her crazier ones. That only made her madder. "Your kind doesn't fit here," she snapped once, eyes blazing. "You're ruining Willow Creek's charm." By the time my vacation rolled around, I was exhausted from her attacks. I'd prepped my house like a fortress. Lights on timers, lawn care scheduled, Mike parking in my driveway to make it look lived in. I dotted every I, crossed every T. But Linda had found her opening. As I booked an early flight home, Mike sent photos of violation notices plastered on my door, due law 1,000 in HOA fines, a city citation for disturbing the peace, even a letter threatening EVY tie-in. I landed jet-lagged and furious, marching straight to my security system. I'd installed doorbell cams and indoor sensors after hearing Linda snooped on neighbors' properties. I hadn't told a soul about them. If she'd pulled something, I'd catch her. I spent hours combing through footage. The house was a ghost town, just as it should have been. No parties, no noise, nothing. But on the third night of my trip, at 1:30 a.m., there she was, Linda, skulking in dark clothes, creeping along my house. My jaw hit the floor as the video showed her tucking a Bluetooth speaker behind my AC unit. She flipped it on at 1:45 a.m., then strolled to my driveway, dialed her phone, and waited. 7 minutes later, a police cruiser pulled up. Linda waved her arms, pointing at my house like she was directing a MOVYE the cop nodding along. She'd done this 3 nights in a row. Same playbook. Plant the speaker, call 911, build her case. On the last night, she even brought 2 HOA buddies to witness the noise. This wasn't just petty. It was illegal false police reports, trespassing, breaking and entering since she'd opened my gated backyard, which had a no trespassing sign. My hands shook as I backed up the footage. I called the police sergeant. "I've got a crime to report," I said, voice steady. "And VY Deo proof." The next morning, I walked into the emergency HOA meeting. Linda had called to crucify me. She stood at the front, rattling off my offenses, demanding max fines and legal action. I sat silent, letting her dig her grave. When she finished, I stood. "I've got a VY Denke to share," I said, plugging my laptop into the projector. The room went dead quiet as the footage played. Linda sneaking, planting the speaker, calling the cops. "I was in Hawaii," I said, voice calm but sharp. The only noise came from Linda's speaker on my property. She trespassed 3 times and lied to the police. Linda's face went white. It's not what it looks like," she sputtered. "I was checking on neighbor complaints. Nobody bought it." The board members whispered, their faces hardening. The VYC president cleared his throat. "Linda, step outside. We need to talk." She didn't just face the board's wrath. 2 cops were waiting in the hall. I'd filed a complaint, and the footage was enough to arrest her on the spot. 3 counts of false police reports, 3 counts of trespassing, 1 count of breaking and entering. As they cuffed her, her shock was electric. "This is absurd," she screamed. "I've built this community. He's the one ruining it." I'll never forget her glare, like I'd burned her world down. 2 weeks later, I sat in court as the judge laid into her. A doula, $5,000 fine, 80 hours of community service VYC, a year's probation, and orders to pay my doula 1,000 HOA fines and doula 3,000 flight costs. The judge ripped into her abuse of power. The HOA board went further, voting to boot her from her throne and ban her from ever VYing again. My case cracked the dams. Even other neighbors came forward with stories of her harassment, though none as wild as her speaker stunt. Outside the courtroom, Linda cornered me, nails digging into her purse. "How dare you?" she hissed. "I was protecting our property values. You've destroyed my life. Me job's gone. My name's trash." Her voice broke, but I just smiled and walked away. Willow Creek felt lighter after that, like we could all breathe again. But Linda's final words stuck with me. Her desperation, her belief she was the hero. It made me wonder, was she just a tyrant, or did she think she was VYing us? So what do you think? Was Linda a power-hungry bully who got what she deserved? Or did she have a point about protecting the neighborhood? Should I have exposed her privately instead of at the HOA meeting? And how far is too far when it comes to HOA rules? Where's the line between order and obsession? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if you felt the drama. And subscribe for more wild stories like this one.